Hi everyone, it's Kino here. Welcome to this 1-hour yoga and meditation practice to help you wind down for deep relaxation. Come to a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes, bring your hands together. We'll initiate the space of practice with a long, deep Om. Keeping the eyes closed for a moment, rest your hands down to any comfortable position. Notice the quality of your breath as it moves in and out of the body. Notice the feeling inside the body, just so that you can feel what you feel. And then be aware of the quality of your mind and your emotions. So you just tap into these 3 points of awareness, bringing your attention into a calm and equanimous space, where you simply observe with no goal, no attachment, no fight, no force. Just be here for a moment. Then allow yourself a long, deep breath in. As you exhale, let's open the eyes and we'll slowly get started. Now, let's start off on the hands and knees. Working on your hands and knees for a moment. Start off in your tabletop position. We'll hold this just for 5 breaths to get your mind and body acclimated together, attuned to each other. Feel the palms pressing into the mat, knees, feet making contact with the mat. We'll stay here for just another breath. Then let's bring the knees together and we'll start off in child's pose to just sink through the hips, reaching the head towards the ground and rolling the shoulders open. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Keep it nice and easy. Straightening the arms a little bit to help the shoulders roll away from the spine. Steady breathing. Take a moment and notice what thoughts may be present in the mind. Maybe you feel like you have to be doing something. You have to be working hard to be worthy of love, to be worthy in general. See if it's possible to just let that go and instead tap into an intrinsic state of worthiness. A state of self-worth, not attached to any particular form or achievement. Then let's inhale, lift the head up. Come on back to your tabletop position. Let's open the knees a little bit and aim for a slightly wider child's pose. In this version, if you find it difficult to sit all the way back down, you can grab a blocks or you can grab your bolster and maybe just let your chest rest on that as you exhale, drop back down. But if that's comfortable for you, then you don't need the block. You can move that over to the side and just gently drape your head down. Notice the difference in the wide child's pose, how your chest can kind of sink between the thighs a little bit. Then again, let's work on straightening the arms so that the shoulders can roll away from the spine. Allowing yourself a few moments here just to drop down under the thoughts, entering into that quiet space of in-between. Notice the urge to want to force your body deeper and see if it's possible instead just to be here where you are in what is. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just be here as you are. Staying for a few breaths, a few moments, just feeling what you feel, being very aware, very attentive to every thought and every sensation. yet releasing the need to control, manipulate, or force. Then let's inhale, press into the knees and glide all the way up, sitting back on the heels for a moment. Now we're going to orient the torso a little bit over to the right. So you're going to fold a little bit more onto the right leg. So slowly pivot down towards the right side and aim the center of the chest towards the center of the right knee. Extend your arms out forward and then just allow yourself to pivot forward and down over that right side. Coming up onto the fingertip for you to place your torso on some bolsters or a block. Feel welcome to do that. That gentle side stretch as the torso just easily leans over. The hip flexion that happens when the weight of the torso just gently folds towards the right thigh. Activating the pelvic floor, keep it nice and easy. At the same time, find the support of the posture so it's not completely passive. Let's be here for one more breath. A long, deep breath in. And a long, deep breath out. Then inhale, roll on back to the center and come on up to seated. We'll stay here just for a moment. Feel what you feel and allow yourself to tune into a space of softness, a space of maybe even vulnerability. Again, under your thoughts, under the surface of the skin. And we're going to orient over to the left. So just gently aim the center of the torso towards the left thigh. Fold forward and down and then extend the arms down, top of the head down, and you'll feel weight kind of removing itself from the right side, pouring over onto the left. Steady breathing, nice and calm. Keep the mind inwardly focused. Notice what you feel as you feel it. Cultivating an attitude of equanimity, an attitude of non-judgment, just kind of as you are, right here and now. There may be many thoughts that seem to roll through the mind. Each thought has an energy and inertia. As long as you don't fuel that fire, that thought will wind down, unwind itself, come to a resting point. It is, however, the nature of mind to be a little jumpy and move around, so don't get mad at the mind for its inevitable fluctuations, its inevitable stream of thoughts. Inhale, come on back to the center, and let's rise all the way up. Draw your knees together and let's just sit here for a moment, sitting on the feet, keeping it relatively stable. Then let's roll forward and down, gliding your hands forward. Open the knees back to tabletop. You'll notice that the legs feel like they've been pressed on a little bit. As blood and circulation returns to the legs, just give them a little roll from side to side so you can just kind of feel the hips moseying lightly in a sort of side to side rhythm. Then let's just let that kind of pitter out and come on back to a stable point. You're going to curl your toes under and we're going to come up to downward facing dog. So roll the shoulders open, engage the pelvic floor, and then thrust through the legs to lift up to downward facing dog. As you're here in downward facing dog, your feet are going to be hips width apart, shoulders rolling open. The navel drawing deeply in. Just keep it nice and steady. Stay here for about 5 breaths. Using this time to find just enough activation to support the body, but not too much so you hit it too hard. Just find that still point under the skin, in between the thoughts, in the gap between one thought and another, in the pause between inhale and exhale, and in the pause between exhale and inhale. Alrighty, let's sink those knees down to the ground. Your legs, after that long hold in various versions of child's pose should have enjoyed being up there in the downward dog. Now we'll try puppy pose. So let's point the feet and walk your hands forward. Let's just give it a nice walk, walk, walk until you can feel your arms start to slide. And let's point the top of the head towards the ground. Come up onto your fingertips so you can really target what's happening in the shoulders. And then roll the shoulders away from the ears. And again, we'll be here for about 5 breaths. Pressing the top of the head towards the ground. Lifting the hips back and up. Just allow yourself to really stabilize and drop down. Stabilize and drop down. Giving your mind and your body the time to really enter a space of attunement and equilibrium. Stay for another breath, and then let's drop the hands down, continuing to be in the puppy pose for a few more breaths. Nice and easy. Let's switch the gaze as you lift the head up, and then exhale. And drop your hips down, and we'll come up into Cobra Pose. Staying in Cobra Pose for a few breaths, let's activate your legs so you can really kind of feel the legs nice and long. Lift the kneecaps up off the ground and press up into the elbows. And we'll hold this for a few breaths. Calming the mind, entering that in-between space, in between inhale and exhale, in between your thoughts. Mind is stable and calm, no fight, no force, just be here for a few breaths. Nice and easy. Notice if your spine is real rigid, and if you can soften the space between the joints of the spine and then lightly activate the muscles that control the spine to increase the sense of space, do that. But no need to achieve, so watch your neck, and you can maybe just move your neck from side to side so that you make sure the neck is nice and released. And then exhale, let's actually just lie fully down, resting your forehead down. Letting your nervous system just reach this point where you're in a deep space of healing, a deep space of restoration. And let's see if we can come on back up to the Cobra Pose. And then just working a little bit the fronts of the legs in Cobra Pose. So pressing up into the elbows, finding that spaciousness in the spine. Engage your legs. Then let's lift your right leg back and up and just hold that for a few breaths. If it gets too hard, let's just put it down. Let's do the other side. Go ahead and lift that left leg back and up. And then exhale, let's set it down. Now let's scoot a little bit back on the mat. And then lie all the way down so that the forehead is on the ground. Extend the arms. And as you extend the arms, you're going to keep the feet about hips width apart, hands about shoulder width apart. Lift the knees up off the ground, and then we'll work the opposite arms and legs. So extend the left arm and the right leg, and maybe the head comes a little off the ground, or maybe not, and just hold it there. Reaching and feeling, you can ground through the right arm and ground through the left leg. Stay here feeling with just enough activation to create length through the body. Stay there for another moment and then exhale. Let's drop down. Okay, let's try the other side. Extend the right arm and the left leg, and let's just hold it there. Keep reaching and feeling. Reaching and feeling. You want to ground a little through the left arm and the right leg. Just enough activation to lengthen the spine. Just enough movement to create a sense of elongation through the body and a light activation, and then exhale. Let's set it down. Inhale, let's lift the head up and come on back up to Cobra Pose now. Press into the elbows. You might notice a change in the spine as you do. feeling a calm, quiet, inner space of awareness as the spine lifts up out of the pelvis, keeping the mind stable and calm. No force, just be here as it is. Soften the knees, walk the hands back, and then let's come back to the tabletop position. You might need to walk the knees in just a little bit. Hold it here in the tabletop pose. Then let's walk even more forward. Point the knees together, grab a yoga block, grab it the long way, and then sit both sitting bones on the block. So now we move into Virasana, or the hero's pose. If you're comfortable and you don't need the block, feel welcome to go ahead and sink your hips towards the ground completely. We're working on the internal rotation of the hip joints here. Having the block allows you to increase the internal rotation of the hip joints without stressing the knees. But again, if you have really good internal rotation, you're comfy on the floor, feel welcome to remove the block. We're going to go both directions. We'll do the forward fold first. So then gently fold, taking the hands on the ground. You might want to grab your other block and place it kind of where you think your head is going to land. So then you can just gently move forward. And this will allow you to decrease the kind of pressure that's put on the front of the hip joints, and really watch that. If you feel any sharp or pinching sensations in the front of the hip joints, you want to back off a little. Maybe use a bolster as well as a block to take a little bit of the weight off. Hold it here for a moment and just be in a space of deep regulation, mind and body in balance. Breath moving deeper into an in and out rhythm that helps bring the nervous system into that calm and connect space. Here you are, feeling what you feel. Let it be just here. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, no rush. The whole world's always in a rush, rushing here, rushing there. But this moment is just to wind down, to let the mind calm down. Then let's slowly pick it on up. Now, the opposite direction might be a little challenging, so you can grab your block and figure out what's most comfortable for you. You may find that you have to play around with it depending on how you feel. So we'll do this nice and slowly so that you can really work out the comfort zone. Okay, so you have your hips that are really situated up, and you're going to shift that forward so that your sacrum is what's resting down. Then you want this block, and I didn't estimate very well, to be under your head. Okay, there we go. So this allows you to keep a little bit of activation. There we go. Press your elbows into the ground and make sure that you're not flattening your back down. And again, we just press down. This helps open the front of the thighs. So I get a request from someone who's practicing with me that if we could please do some yin poses to open the fronts of the thighs. So this is your request, and I'm always happy to integrate some of your requests into these regular practices that we do. Make sure in this version of Supta Virasana that your sacrum is a little bit tucked under so that you're not arching too much in the sacroiliac joints. And this will just help you really localize what you feel through the fronts of the thighs. Keep pressing the elbows into the ground and pressing into your feet to make sure that you're not dropping too much of down. At first, if you're flexible, you may feel nothing, but the longer you stay, the more the chance the psoas gets to open. So just be here for a few moments and allow yourself to find the comfort zone where you feel, okay, there it is, there I'm comfortable, I can drop down a little bit more. Check in with your back and make sure that the back is not in any way stressed. Check in with the neck as well, make sure the neck is not taking kind of the brunt of the work. Just give yourself some time here. If it's too much also to lie in this way, you could stack a few pillows or bolsters underneath your back for a little extra support. Let's stay for maybe just one more breath. Maybe you're starting to feel it pretty intensively now. Now to come on out, you're going to activate through the elbows, engage your quadriceps like you push the knees down, then inhale, walk the elbows back, walk the hands back, and then we're going to come all the way up and tabletop position. So use tabletop here to just reorient the spine. Let's take a moment, we can move the blocks on away. All right. Now, from the tabletop position, let's continue this journey in towards the hips. So you're going to curl the toes under and now sink back into the heels. And this one I actually find to be extremely challenging. So you could pause and actually not sit back and just stay on your fingertips like I am right here if you're feeling like it's really too much in the ankles or anything like that. But if it's accessible for you, you can come on up and just work to a balance. Draw the navel in and stay there, feeling what you feel. And again, if this is too much, you're just gonna stay forward on the fingertips and work your body weight back so that you can really feel through the toes, through the heels. And these long holds, again, are not meant to be passive, but really active so that you can really just find the muscles that need to be worked through and let the mind work into a space of regulation and calm. All right, that's good. Let's take the hands forward, point the feet, give them a little break from that. Open back up to your tabletop position. Then let's roll through just some very slow cat and cow. Inhale, let's roll through the spine. Exhale, let's round all the way under. Inhale again, let's roll through the spine, long, deep breath in. Exhale, round, pull it under. Give me another one. Inhale, roll through the spine. Exhale, round all the way under. Back to neutral. Curl your toes under and give me a wider stance. This time, walking the feet in. Come up onto your fingertips, and now let's push back to a squat. Open your squat a little bit and take time and just kind of roll through side by side, using that new ankle flexibility, and then exhale, sink your hips towards the ground. Don't actually sit down, but just sink the hips towards the ground. Then draw your chest forward and down. Maybe hands in prayer. You can rest your hands on the thumbs and just for a moment, relax, drop down. Feel your chest descending between the thighs. You could squeeze the knees a little in, open the knees, squeeze the knees a little in so that you can feel what you feel. Give it a little activation so the hips come up. Start to really work your quadriceps and release the activation. We'll do that 2 more times. Press into the legs and then inhale, send the hips back and up. And then exhale, drop it down. Let's do it 1 more time. Inhale, send the hips back and up. And then exhale, come on down. Walk your hands forward and inhale, come on, back to plank pose. Plank pose. Nice and easy. Just take a few moments to stabilize the mind. Always good to just find that equal point here in plank. Hold it again so we really slow the mind down so you can watch the thoughts coming in like softballs. They don't have any fast pitches as we really drop into a deep space. Sink your knees to the ground. Exhale, let's lie all the way down. Point your feet, come forward again. Cobra Pose. Inhale, lift the center of the chest, and let's just be here feeling, lifting the spine up out of the pelvis. Close the eyes for a moment. Tune in to the inner vibration. Feel the heart center, feel the space underneath the skin. Trust that this space is a space of healing, deep emotional regulation, a space of deep relaxation where mind and body meet. And all that you need is available. Soften down, curl the toes, walk back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay. Then straightening through the legs again. Keep it nice and easy. Let's walk your feet about half the distance forward, and we'll do our hanging forward fold. Give me a soft bend in the knees. Drape the arms over each other. Stay there for a moment, then activate the pelvic floor. Inhale, send the hips back and up. Stay there, and you want to engage your quadriceps. You can lift the kneecaps up, engage the pelvic floor, soften through the spine. Stay here for a few more breaths. Nice and easy, just be there. Okay, let's bend the knees again. And then activate your quadriceps. Draw the navel in and just hang here for a few breaths. Nice and easy, hang here for a few breaths. No fight, no force. Just feeling, breathing as it is. Okay, one more. Bend the knees. Inhale again. Let's straighten. Soften the arms down. Hold on to your big toes. Inhale. Let's straighten the arms. Exhale. Roll through the hip joints and fold forward. Soft neck. Nice and easy. Stay there, breathing, feeling. Calming the mind, steady breaths. And inhale, let's straighten the arms. Exhale, let's take your hands down to the ground. Step on back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, inhale, step your right foot forward. Nice wide stance, drop the left knee down. You're going to grab your yoga blocks. Place them on either sides of your hips just for a little extra support. Curl your left toes under, and then just easy sink back. Hold it here so you can leave the hips elevated, and then exhale, fold forward and down. And notice just what you feel. Let this be relatively active, curling the left toes under, engaging your right quadricep, using the blocks for a little support. You don't need to go super far, but just feel what you feel. Keep the mind calm and steady. Stay here for a few breaths. Draping your torso down over that right thigh. How you doing? Check in with yourself. Inhale, press into the right leg. And then we're going to come forward and down. So you might want to scoot your left leg a little bit back. And use the blocks to prop yourself up, so that we really feel a sense of support as we move into this crescent lunge. And we're just hold it here. Track the right knee in line with the right hip. Avoid the knee popping out to the side to give you the feeling, or appearance rather, that you're going deeper. Stay there for a moment. Keep the mind nice and calm. And the hips drop a little. Then we're going to lift the hips up. You may need to take a moment to find this. All right, we're going to bend the left knee and I want you to hold it in. Take the right hand up to the right knee and we'll just hold that there. Don't try to move the foot onto the outside of the glute. Just stay there. And then just tip it a little forward and a little back so we get that front quadriceps. Hold it there for a moment, feeling what you feel. Squaring the pelvis forward. Almost there. Let's take the hands back to the blocks and then exhale back to our forward fold. Hold it for a moment, squaring the pelvis forward, press up into the blocks, and then inhale back to downward facing dog. You can stay up on the blocks. And exhale there, stabilize. Switch the gaze forward. Inhale, step your left foot forward, and right knee down. Step it forward for a moment and then slowly again, straighten the left leg. Keeping the hips stacked over that right knee. Exhale, just gently forward fold. Pressing down as much as you can with the strength of the pelvic floor so the belly stays drawn in. Slowly folding down. If you want to stay up because it's really intense, you're welcome to just stay up and just again feel what you feel. There's no competition. Just let yourself be aware of what you feel as you feel it, okay? So that there's just breath and body It's just kind of what is. All right, let's come on forward and down. And you may want to take a moment to slide that right knee a little bit back. And we'll use the connection to the blocks to just make sure you're totally safe. If you need any support for the back right knee, you want to grab a pillow and place it under that back right knee, go ahead and do that. Draw the navel in. You're watching that left knee. Make sure it's not winging out to the side, but it stays in line. And again, really pressing into the blocks so that you can feel yourself really supported, really just here. And just rest in kind of the isness of the moment. So what is simply is. There is breath, there is body, there might be intense sensations. Just let yourself be here as it is. One more breath like this. Remember to just quietly plant the seeds of peace and joy. Quietly plant the seeds of harmony. And let's press up into the left leg. And again, you might need a moment to just kind of find a good position for your knee. Don't do that too hard or your hamstring muscle is going to really squeeze. Just come a little up, then press, taking that left hand up to the left knee. And we'll just find that right quadriceps. Hold it for a moment, just find the quadriceps, nice and easy. Almost there, almost there. You can swing a little forward and then come on back. Inhale back to downward facing dog. Stay downward facing dog for a moment, flatten the blocks, move them on over so that they're the flat way, just for a better position for the hands. And then from downward dog, let's come forward to plank. Roll over your toes and inhale, upward facing. So with the help of the blocks, we may be able to stay in upward facing for a few extra breaths. Think about lifting the spine up out of the pelvis. And if you feel your hips sinking down, I want you to really press, softening the glutes and lifting the spine up out of the pelvis. And we're just staying here, feeling what you feel, letting the spine soften where it needs to soften, finding the support with the core muscles of the body, and then exhale, downward facing. Okay, from downward facing, let's step the right foot forward and the left knee down. Then, using the blocks if you want to, or shifting them away, we're going to lean a little bit over to the side. Your blocks may help you find a little bit of height, and they'll also make sure that that right knee doesn't track too much out. Then, bend the left leg and just easy reach back. Again, using the extra height on the blocks, just make this a little bit more accessible. Enjoy for the moment, and then you can explore the space of allowing the front of the left thigh to really lengthen and deepen. Be careful about keeping your pelvic floor really activated, all right? Really activated. Stay there with your breath and your body, reaching a calm point in your nervous system, a calm point in the inner world as the hips just sink more and more towards the ground. We're almost there. Enjoy the moment. And then exhale, come on down. Inhale back to plank position. Exhale there. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, step your left foot forward, tracking it right in line with the block on the left side. Exhale, right knee down. Then stay there for a moment, drop through the right hip. Stay up on the block if you like for that little extra support, looking behind you. Use the block to make sure the left knee doesn't wing too much out to the side. Then gently reach back. And then play around with where is comfortable for you. Where is the place where you feel like you're gonna get a good support? You wanna be a little up, do you wanna be a little down? Feel the place where your pelvis softly releases. The navel draws in towards the spine. The mind is nice and calm. Take a moment with an equanimous mind to be aware of what is. Your breath, your body, your mind. Let it all come into balance. Then lift from inside the pelvic floor, drop the right leg down. Inhale back to plank. Plank, exhale there. Inhale, upward facing, long, deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing. Now from downward facing, let's sink those knees towards the ground. Move your blocks on over to the side. So you move the blocks over to the side, we're gonna drop all the way down to the ground so you can exhale, lie down, keeping the knees bent as you gently lie down. And just finding a balance point of relaxation, constructive rest position for a moment. No fight, no force, just be here breathing and feeling. We'll continue working a little bit the fronts of the thighs and the front body. If you're spending a lot of time sitting and folding in a seated position, the fronts of the hip joints can get very tight. So taking the time to let the psoas muscle elongate can also help you wind down and move your nervous system into a deep space of calm and connect. Let's grab a yoga block to make sure all of our knees are totally safe. So then inhale, thrust into the legs, lift the hips up, and just settle the block right under your sacrum. Now this will look a little bit like half of Supta Virasana. We won't be using the block for the head because we'll only be doing one by one. So let's extend your right leg out, fold under with the left side, and then just allow the gentle stretch through the left quadricep to make its way up into the pelvis, up through the abdomen, and then just stay here for a few breaths. There's a very slight activation in both of your legs to keep the thigh bones internally rotating. And again, we'll just stay here feeling, breathing. You could close the eyes for a moment and really just allow yourself to drop down. Any semblance of trying, see if you can just let that go. So that instead of trying and forcing, you can move into being and breathing. There's no reason to hit it hard, just be here for a few moments. Allow yourself this time, this luxury, to deconstruct the mind, to untie the mental knots, so that you can arrive at a point of pure presence, the vast, expansive nature of the mind. One more long, deep breath. And then let's thrust a little into that right leg and inhale. Left leg comes up, straighten it out. We'll try the other side, make sure you're well positioned on the block. Then let's draw the right knee up, hold on to the foot so you can spiral it down. If you need the block to be even higher to let this feel good, then go ahead and change that. Then drawing your knees towards each other. Again, slight activation in the legs, but not too much. Just enough so that you can really keep your thigh bones rolling towards each other. And feeling this light elongation through the front of the pelvis, through the quadriceps, through the iliopsoas, as your nervous system learns to calm down. Let the mind and the nervous system calm down. Slowly moving into a space of deep harmony and regulation as you feel your breath and your body moving in. Again, just a slight activation. The legs, don't let it be too passive. We're almost there. Stay maybe for one more breath. Long, deep breath in. And exhale, activate the pelvic floor. Thrust into the left leg a little and straighten out the right leg. Bend both knees, and we're gonna rearrange the block. All right, so thrust your pelvis up, place the sacrum on the block. So you really get the support, the whole block on the sacrum. Really wiggle it around a little bit. Make sure it's not on the lower back, but right on the sacrum. Then stretch the legs out again. Little activation of the legs just to keep them reaching and long. Resting the arms down. Anywhere that's comfortable for you. We'll just point the feet, and again, just a little activation of the legs. You don't need to keep them totally together, but just try not to let them splay too much out to the side. You can just keep thinking about reaching through the toes, sending your iliac crest, these bones right here, up and forward, and getting a sense of symmetrical elongation. Now that we've released the legs individually, you can feel the hips shifting forward and up, that you can really find that sense of lift. You can find that sense of elongation, really through the whole body. Stay there for another moment. Be aware of what you feel. Sometimes I like to really just be very conscious, like, yeah, the right side's more intense than the left. Yeah, that's my iliacus right there. That's what I feel. Yep. Yeah, that's the psoas right there. Yeah, got it. And when you're going through these body parts, remember, you're feeling with pure equanimity. No fight, no force, no need to change. Just rest in the isness of the moment. What is simply is. One more breath. And a nice long exhale. Let's bend the knees. Press into the elbows. Lift the hips off, and let's shift that block on over to the side. Then stay there for a moment. Constructive rest. Knees together, sacrum now resting on the ground. Few breaths, nice and easy. Keeping the mind calm, inwardly focused. Bring your feet together, and we're going to hug the knees up into the chest. Point the feet and draw the knees up. And just for a moment, give a little roll from side to side. Really let your sacrum find its equilibrium point. Then let's hug the knees in. Give yourself kind of like a deep squeeze here. Steady breathing. Let the mind be nice and calm. Hugging the knees into the chest. Stay there, feeling, breathing. Letting the mind just cycle down into deeper spaces of regulation and deeper spaces of calm. Then let's stretch the legs up. Hands rest on the ground, and we are in Viparita Karani. Now, this nice long hold here, you're going to feel blood and circulation moving from the feet, through the shins, through the knees, through the thighs, into the pelvis. And just feel that as it is. Letting the mind drop down. Keep breathing, keep feeling. Now, sometimes when we release the fronts of the thighs, the inner thighs can often get a little activated. So let's go for a nice, slow and supported straddle position. Just open your feet, and you could take your yoga blocks and place them under your thighs so that this really gives your hips a chance to relax and soften. So it's not entirely passive here. I want you to keep your toes kind of reaching outward, and if you feel you want to change the blocks, then change the blocks, but really give yourself the chance to feel, not to force, so that you're just as you are, right? Find the depth that really works for your body and your practice today, honoring the experience, not fighting, not forcing. Let's flex the feet and just give a little activation there. So the feet flex a little activation, thrust out through the heels, and point the feet and drop a little more down. Do that 2 more times. Flex the feet, releasing all of the energy lines that run through the inner thighs. Point the feet. Last one. Let's flex the feet so we really squeeze and point the feet. Still activating, but in a slightly different way. All right, we're gonna bring it in. So hold underneath your knees and inhale, bring the legs back, all the way back up. Okay, now let's bend the knees, dropping the heels down, position the blocks a little bit more down, and then let's open the knees for Supta Baddha Konasana. And you're gonna find the place where your legs get the support that they need, all right? If you feel like your feet are popping up off the ground, that means that the blocks are too close in, and there's some good news. That means that your hips are more flexible than you thought, so you can actually open the blocks a little bit more, and just find the point where your feet are a little bit weighted, and that they can continue to press into each other. If you find that keeping the feet together is problematic, you can wrap a strap around the feet and kind of wrap that around your thighs. It's up to you how much you want to tie yourself up for these long holds. Depends on what your fancy is, if you know what I mean. Allow yourself a few moments. Again, just close the eyes. The nervous system is in a deep space of regulation, a deep space of calm and connect. Find yourself dropping down into the inner space. Almost in that moment, right before you fall asleep, or in the moment right after you've woken up, in the space between sleeping and totally awake, in the in-between space where you're neither dreaming, but it feels like a dream. You're neither awake, but there is yet the quality of wakefulness. You're not sleeping, but there is the experience of deep rest. Keep the mind calm. Enter the inner space. Drop underneath the frequency of everyday thoughts into the quiet space of the inner world. Here in this quiet space, you have access to your purpose. You have access to your highest potential. And the immune system comes into balance and is optimized. There is a sense of ease and flow, a feeling of retreat and sanctuary. Let's stay for just one more breath. Open the eyes and feel the atmosphere of the inner world. And then activating the legs, let's bring those back in. Knees together. Move your blocks on over to the side again. Stacking them up neatly. Thank you, blocks. Stretch your legs out. We're not done yet. Let's keep the feet together, all right? The feet stay together. Hands on your thighs. Give me one leg gently up. Hold on to your calf muscle. Hold that here for a few breaths, nice and easy. No need to pull it in deeper. Just be wherever you are and just hold on comfortably, comfortably. Then exhale, let's just drape that leg over to the side, holding it on over, and just feel the place where it's comfortable for you. And maybe you're going to rest your hand on the blocks or move the blocks over to the side so you can feel space through the chest, space through the legs. Find the comfort zone where there's just enough of a stretchy sensation to encourage the mind to drop under its frequency of thoughts, but not too much so you're stressing out. Stay there for a few moments. Feel what you feel. And then inhale back to the center. Let's bend the knee and give it a little squeeze. Exhale, straighten the leg. We'll go for the other side. Left leg pops up. Hold it in. Notice what you feel, points of tightness, and see if you can welcome every point of tightness in the body. Welcome every point of discomfort. And the way that you welcome is just by letting it be. There are two ways to be against. One is to fight. And if you're against your tightness, then you might fight it. And when you fight it, you try to like, and work it out. But if you can just be with your tightness, then you can welcome it. Similarly, if you deny the tightness, run away from it, pretend it's not there. That's another form of againstness. So you try to cultivate sort of just an open field of being. Let's take it on over to the twist, and then exhale. Take a moment and just roll through the body. Extending the left arm. Keep the legs a little activated. Stay here with the breath. Notice what you feel. Again, the legs a little activated. A few moments just to be here with breath and body. And inhale, roll it on back to the center. Hold on to that left knee as you draw it in. And then exhale. Now let's lie all the way down. Okay, staying here for a few breaths. Here's a space where your mind enters. The space underneath your thoughts. The channel of the heart functions as a portal to grace and healing. Feel the heart space as a sanctuary, almost like a temple. Enter the temple of the heart with reverence and humility. Feel yourself dropping layers of ego, dropping layers of personality, and just entering the inner space of the heart. Perhaps there's a message that comes to you from the other side. As that portal of the heart is open, perhaps there's a message of healing. Perhaps there's a message of compassion, connection. Perhaps there's a feeling of love, safety, security. Notice the feeling as the heart space opens. Notice the feeling of deep inner connection where all is well. Let your body receive the healing it needs. Your immune system be optimized. The body moving into perfect balance. Spirit entering and illuminating the body, the mind, and every aspect of the life. Feel the presence of that infinite light, which is our true source. Let it enter you as healing, grace, and love. And then allow yourself a long, deep breath in. As you exhale, let's move the fingers and toes, the hands and feet. Bring your feet together. Reach your arms above the head. Long, deep stretch, little wiggle, little wiggle, little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And bend the knees and the elbows, hugging it in. Roll over to the side. Let's just stay on the side for a moment, almost as though you're just waking up from a really delicious nap, so that all your muscles are rebuilt on a cellular level. All the organs are moving into balance and harmony. Your breath, your body, your spirit, all in unity. Come on back up to seated. Inhale, come on up. And keep the eyes closed for a few moments. Feel the heart space, vast and expansive, open and aware. Embody the space of compassion, kindness, and love. Deep in the channel of the heart now, as your entire system is attuned to this deep space of healing. Feel compassion, kindness, forgiveness rolling through the body and the whole energy field as an open vibration. Plant the seeds of metta. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I forgive myself. May I forgive all whom have wronged me, intentionally or unintentionally, consciously or unconsciously. May all forgive me, those whom I may have harmed intentionally or unintentionally, consciously or unconsciously. May I live in peace and in harmony with myself and with all beings. In the channel of the heart space, may I feel the presence of all beings, the ones whom I love dearly, my friends, my family members, my loved ones, any cherished pets, beings whom you love so dearly. May all these beings whom are close with me, may all be healthy. May all be happy. May all be safe and secure. Include in your awareness those beings whom are connected to you through the level of the heart, but who may be far away. Those beings in your city whom you may never know, in your country, in different cities, in every city, in every rural countryside, in every walk of life, in every country in the whole world. May all these countless human beings, those whom are sick, those whom are healthy, those whom are rich and those whom are poor, may all these human beings, may all be happy. May all find the way to live in harmony. May all be peaceful. May all be friends. None are enemies. Now feel your connection to all the non-human beings, all the animals, all the beings, the creatures, the critters, The beings of the air, the birds, the butterflies, the beings of the sea, the dolphins, the whales, all the swimming beings, the lobsters and crabs, and the sharks and the fish, and all the sea creatures. All the beings of the land, our cherished pets, the dogs, the cats, the wild animals, the tigers, the lions, the giraffes, and all the industrial animals, the working animals, the cows, the pigs, the chickens. May all these beings, may all the human, the animal, the non-human, those whom are embodied, those whom stay in the spirit, may all these countless, countless beings, may all be happy, be peaceful. May all be healthy. May all beings be free from anxiety. May all beings rest in harmony, in ease and flow. May all beings live in peace with themselves and with one another. May all beings be friends, be kind and support one another. May all beings rest in love, compassion, and goodwill. Bring your attention back to your heart center and feel the presence of love, that positive vibration which seems to bubble up from you until it doubles and doubles again. This true source, this true self, through the channel of the heart, recognize that you are not only worthy of love, but you are love. Who you are is love. And when you open to love, you open to your truest and highest potential and come into unity with all that is. Bring your hands together. Allow yourself a long and deep breath in. And as you exhale, softly open the eyes. Thank you so much for joining me on this practice today. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be filled with love. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. I hope you had a really nice practice today. Where is my outfit from? Well, the pants are from Vayamudra, and the shirt is Lululemon, so those two together. And thank you so much for joining, everyone. I'll be back on next week. Remember, you can watch the super high quality replay, the live stream of this. It's going to be on omstars.com. Otherwise, I'll see you Tuesday, Thursdays, 1 p.m. for the 1-hour classes, and Saturday at 10 a.m. guided Ashtanga. Otherwise, I'm going to be live kind of like for your daily dose of yoga around 1 p.m. most days. I think I'm going to do 1 day a week meditation and 6 days a week yoga. So be sure to check that out, spread the word, leave me some nice happy comments, and I'll see you soon. Have a really beautiful day, everyone.